There's also the stereotypes, rumors, of course, and then the isolated negative experience. We've all had negative experiences, I'm sure, with people of all races. But does that mean that all of them are like that? Absolutely not. Maybe you had a bad experience with a teacher. Does that mean all teachers are bad? No. Maybe you had a bad experience with a dentist. Does that mean all dentists are bad? No. Maybe you had a bad experience with a waitress or waiter. Does that mean all of them are bad? No. It was a one-time isolated negative experience. So one bad experience with one person becomes a judgment about millions of people. Someone might say, I had a bad experience with someone from that group, so I don't trust them anymore. Or you might say, yeah, that was a bad experience with that person. And you know what? I'm not going to hang around Bob anymore. Instead of, I'm not going to hang around all people from wherever Bob came from. But no, we rarely apply that type of reasoning, and especially to our own group. When someone from our group behaves badly, we see them as an individual, not hanging out with Bob. The other thing we have to keep in mind is that racism is often a failure to see that individual. It turns a person into a category. What happens when you fill out any type of application? They ask what your race is. Are you Latino or not Latino? Are you American Indian, American Islander, like Hawaiian, Samoan? Are you white? Are you African American? Are you Native American? That's the only place, really, on applications or maybe government forms. When you walk into a restaurant, you don't have to check a box as to what your race is. So again, some entity out there is continuing to keep society in that category of people. But no, instead we see Marcus as the father, maybe a teacher, maybe he's a musician. He's my neighbor. He volunteers down at the rec center, coaching basketball. But yet the rest of us see us as a black man. Back in 2020, did a couple of interviews with some students that I had, and they were black. And I asked them, what do you prefer to be called? Black, African American? And the response, all three of them, was like, it really doesn't matter as long as it's with respect. They don't care. Preferably, they don't want to be seen as black. In fact, their response was, I'm a person who happens to be black, just like you're a person who happens to be white. Why is it that we only identify those other people as classifications? And so the response was, as long as you are talking about respect, you can call me black,